So I finished watching this today. This isn't an updated of that movie. It's a TV show off of that Russell Crowe one I did earlier. The movie of the skinheads fighting the Vietnamese or whatever. So Hervé told me there was a show of this, so I found it, and I don't know, like this show had some funny stuff here and there, but I just didn't think it was as good as that original movie. And the problem with this is, well, see, on here, they're saying that this takes place in 1992, but it says it was made in 2018. Yeah, see, look, it was made in 2018 or premiered in 2018. But the show, how can the show take place in the 90s when they keep cracking Trump jokes on here? So I'm pretty sure that this was made in 2018. I don't know why they're saying 1992 on here, because Trump wasn't running in the 90s. And they keep like cracking jokes about Trump on here, and it's really like I don't think Australians give a fuck about Trump. I guess they were trying to like say like, oh, Trump can relate to this or something. I don't know. Like I was just it was there was a lot of that stupid shit on here where they kept cracking jokes about Trump on here, and I was that kind of annoyed me. The main problem with this show is you have too many factions on here, and the show comes off like it comes off like they weren't sure what they were doing. Like, are we trying to make our show like The Wire? Because a lot of it felt like I was watching The Wire. Are we trying to make our show uh be like Breaking Bad? Because there was stuff on there where it came off like Breaking Bad. And what was that other show I was thinking? Oh, The Shield. It was like that. It's like they couldn't make up their mind between these three shows what the show should be, and it just got kind of. Anyways, start just explaining here. So, okay, so this guy here at the beginning is the, I guess you would call it neo-Nazi or skinheads or whatever. They don't really, they call themselves the Blue Patrol on here, or the Blue Movement. And then this guy, um, I don't know, he just kind of comes out of nowhere at the beginning, and he's listening to what this guy's saying. And then this bitch here is running this like Antifa thing, and she tries to attack him at the beginning, his group of people, because this guy's at like I don't know what that was, some sort of like Muslim street fair thing or something. And he gets like right in the middle of all the Muslims, and he's got this bullhorn, and he's screaming about get out of our country, and we don't want you here, and all this. And then this chick, the Antifa leader, with her little soy boys, come in, and they try to attack him, man, and they get fucked up, man. It just turns into this big mess, and then this guy jumps in, and he tries to help him, and there's like a lot of subplots within subplots that really go nowhere. So this guy here owns this like I guess you would call him like a Pierce Morgan type of guy, or like I wouldn't call him Joe Rogan, but he's kind of like I guess a CNN guy would be like a better example, because it's kind of weird, because when they first show him, he comes off like he's trying to be Joe Rogan and all this, but then when that big fight happens, he gets this chick on who's I think it was her daughter or cousin got beat up at that street fair thing. So he brings her on the show, and she comes on thinking this guy is going to sympathize with her. But then she brings this guy on the show, and then her and him are fighting. And it just like, well, not literally fighting, they're arguing. And then he jumps in and he wrecks her on the show and makes her look like an idiot. And then she leaves. And then you have a subplot between this lady and this guy. And this is the mom to this guy, and there's like this kind of stupid subplot Karen thing that doesn't really go anywhere. And then this chick, boy, this chick was all over the fucking place. So at the beginning, she's with this guy because she thinks he's like this messiah guy and all this. And then this guy ends up killing this guy, and then he takes over their what do you call it, like their little cult thing or whatever. And then she turns into like this hardcore like religious zealot idiot, and she starts telling him that he's it was somebody in the Bible. I can't remember who it was. And then he becomes convinced that he's this guy in the Bible or something, and that God is like commanding him to get rid of the Muslims and all this stuff. And there's just a bunch of subplots that don't really go anywhere. There's a lot of good fights on there, I'll say that much. Like, so when I was saying about the factions, you have Antifa, which this one's the leader of the Antifa, and then these two join. This is the sister, or I'm not sure. She's related to the main guy somehow. Well, I think she is. They never clarified if that was his sister or his girlfriend or his ex-wife, or she just knows the main guy somehow. And she starts off in prison. And then she gets out of prison and she just causes all this fucking mayhem. And then the Antifa people are like, oh, we can use her for the cause and all this. And then she ends up being like their stool pigeon or whatever. Like I said, you have the Antifa with her, and then you have they don't got many pictures on here. Oh, here's the beginning. So this guy is like, they're supposed to be the neo-Nazis or their blue movement thing or whatever. So this guy and his people are fighting that chick with the Antifa people. And the first half of the show is them battling it out, the Antifa versus the neo-Nazis or a blue movement thing. And I mean, the fighting is good. I'll give them that. Like, I think it was episode 3 or 4 where they're at the beach or something, and then they try to Antifa tries to ambush them at that funeral or whatever, and then, man, that guy she got ambushed like hell on there. That was pretty good. And it had this big fucking Royal Rumble. Like I said, she's in jail, and he tries to help her, and she ends up getting out of jail. She like escapes jail basically. Like I said, the show is all over the place. Like, they couldn't make up their mind what they wanted the show to be. Oh, and the other thing too is it did kind of remind me of Sons of Anarchy too, with this guy and the religious zealot idiot. But I don't know. It just wasn't as good as that movie. Like, it just wasn't that good. There was the action was decent, but the problem, like I said, the problem with it is you had too much stuff going on, and they couldn't like figure. And the one thing I do like on here is there's no real good people. Like, everybody on here is like an absolute piece of shit. Like, everybody on this show is trying to fuck over somebody else or do something to somebody else on here. There's no, even at the end, there's no like real heroes on the show. everybody's out to fight each other, and we're doing this just cause, and like, oh, we're gonna get rid of the fascist and the, what is it, blue patrol or blue movement people, or they're just not Nazis like the old one, but they don't really, they try to hide it. They just keep saying like, oh, we're better than them, and we're gonna make a new world and all this, and it's just, anyways. There's another subplot on here too. So you have, you know, the neo-Nazi guy versus Antifa, and then this guy fighting with him to take over, and then this bitch is like not sure if she should join with her or this guy, and it's just this whole thing. But they don't show it on here. But I think it was episode 4 or 5. See, they need to have more pictures on here. They don't. Well, there's this one guy on here. He's one of the neo-Nazi guys or whatever with this guy. They're on the street, and these black guys are selling drugs or something, and they just beat the fuck out of them. And then the one guy pulls a gun, and then they both run to this car and take off. And then later on, the black guys capture this guy's like one of his guys, and I don't understand why they showed this in there, because it didn't go anywhere. So the black gangster guys, they kidnap one of the neo-Nazi guys or whatever, and they carve I think it was some gang sign into his forehead or something. And then you're led to believe that they're gonna have this like turf war with these black gangster guys, and then nothing happens. It just goes back to them fighting Antifa, and they just pretend like it didn't happen. And I'm just thinking, why did you show me that, and you don't even like fight them or whatever? Like, it was just, oh, we just gave them a beat down and then broke their car window, and then they threatened to shoot us, and then they kidnapped one of our guys and carved some gang sign into his head, and then we don't care. We got to go back to fighting Antifa. So anyways, the ending is pretty funny. Like, I did have a laugh about that ending. So there's like I got to find a picture on here. They don't have fuck all pictures on here. That's what sucks about it. So they don't show them on here, but there's here. Let me see if it maybe I'll show a picture and see if I can find down here. There's this guy, there's this one neo-Nazi guy that's with them, and he's like a militant guy or like a prepper or something. He's out in fucking middle of nowhere. So they go to travel to see this guy, and they're trying to recruit this guy. And then they find out like he's dying. Is this the guy? I think this might be the guy. Yeah, this is the guy. So this guy here is no, that's not it here. Let me see, show him on here. That guy's dying of cancer on the show. Of course, they don't have fuck all pictures of him for that movie. Well, anyways, that's the guy, and he's like this old school fucking, like, he's got like swastikas on his hands and shit. He's like the old movie. Like on the first one, like with Russell Crowe with them. Like, he's like this hardcore guy, and he's dying of cancer. And then they come to him, and they're like, oh, you need to help us. We need to fight the N-words and all of them, and the city's going to hell and all this. And he's like, oh, well, I've been doing this for centuries, and fuck all happens. And it's like, you're not going to do anything. Trust me, all my friends died, and nothing happened. And we went from the Vietnamese to the N-words to these people and so on. He's just like, it's too late. We can't do anything. And they're like, oh, you're useless and all this, and we hate your guts. And then he gets like all depressed, and he goes and visits. Now, this is the funny part. Like, I don't know why they did this. So this guy in the movie, he's like dying of cancer, and a hardcore, like old school Nazi guy with like swastikas on his hands and his neck and everything. They show him at some college, and he's trying to talk to this Asian girl, and it turns out it's his daughter. And I'm just laughing, and I'm like, why would this guy, who's like this hardcore Nazi guy that's like dying of cancer, have a Chinese or Asian daughter or whatever? And then the daughter's like, oh, fuck off, I hate you, you're a piece of shit, and all of this. And he gets all depressed and realizes like he can't do anything, and then he goes back there, and then that main Nazi guy, this guy is like calling him obsessively, and he's like, you got to help us, we need your help, and all this. And then he says, okay, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang. So they get him like this jihad vest, and they send him into this like political fundraiser thing at the end. And he's his like what's left of his life or whatever is to kill this guy, this I don't know if he was running for president or what it was, but this is at the end here. And they all recognize the guy. They're like, oh, that's that original Nazi guy. That guy is a fucking SS guy. What's he doing here and all this? So they go and confront him. And he's like, I'm dying of cancer. Fuck off. And then they realize that she's the one that figures it out, because she opens his jacket up or whatever, and he's got a jihad suit on, like a bomb on his chest or whatever. And she's like, that guy has a bomb. And then like all of them are trying to tackle that guy and stop his hand. And then he runs up on the stage where the guy that's running for president or whatever is. And he's trying to get up there and do like the Zig Heil thing or whatever with his, he can't get his hand up to do it. And they're all like beating him down and trying, like everybody's like trying to stop this guy. And then he's like really struggling, and he gets the thing out, the detonator thing, and he blows it up, man. And it just takes out everybody, like all of them. Like no, the only person that survives at the end is this dude. This guy here. This is the only guy that survives at the end, man. And he's just like, I don't know if they were going to make a second season or what, but I got the impression what the second season, if they were going to make it, is that he's going to go and avenge all of their deaths or something, because that girl that was his sister or his ex-wife or whoever the hell that was died there, because the other guy didn't tell him, the hardcore neo-Nazi guy didn't tell him that he was going to go to do that. He just like went and did that, and the other guy was like not telling him anything because he was mad because he killed the leader. And that's the end. Like he couldn't make it over there fast enough. Like they show him in the car like trying to get over there, and then when he gets by there, you just see this big explosion, and then that's the end. He's just like staring at this hole in the ground where this political event was going on, and that's the end of the show. So he's like the only guy that's left out of all of the anti-fascist and the neo-Nazi guys or whatever. Everybody is dead except for him. So I'm assuming, yeah, see, it said one season. I'm assuming if there was another season, it would be that he's starting from scratch to go and make a whole new crew and stuff and start the thing up again, because they're all dead. All the anti-fascists are dead. All of the neo-Nazi guys are dead. There's just nobody left except for him. Anyways, I mean, it was somewhat watchable. Like, I had to turn it off sometimes, but I just got annoyed. There's like too many subplots that go nowhere. Like, I want to know what happened with the black gangster guys that like carved their gang sign into that neo-Nazi guy's head. Like, they just totally didn't do anything after that happened. And then this thing at the end where they all die. And then now he has like nobody. Well, I guess he has his mom, that Karen lady. Let's see if they show her on here. All right, I'll look on here. She survives in the episode before though, because she leaves. She's telling him like, "Come with me. I got money," and he's like, "Fuck off, you stupid Karen. Like, I don't know you. You're not my mom," and all this. And she's like, "Oh, I'm your biological mom," and he just basically tells her to fuck off on episode 5, and then it just shows her like leaving or whatever, because she knows what they're gonna go to war to try to kill that guy or whatever, that guy that was running because of his immigration thing or whatever. Yeah, like I said, once again, not the worst show, not the best show. I definitely think the original movie was way better though, because there's too much going on here. Like the old one, it was simple. It was just Russell Crowe and those neo-Nazi guys were mad at the Vietnamese, and the whole movie is them fighting. This is just like, oh, we got a neo-Nazi guy running, and then here's this newcomer kid, and he's trying to take over, and there's a power struggle, and then we have Antifa over here, and they're trying to recruit this Muslim girl and get the Muslims on their side and join Antifa and take down the neo-Nazi guys, and then we have black gangsters that are just on the street, and we beat the hell out of them, and then they threaten to shoot us, and then they kidnap one of our guys, and we don't do anything after that. And then it's just, there's too much like, and then like I said, during the whole thing, they're doing all these Trump bits, and I'm like, why do they keep talking about Trump on here? It's like, I don't know, I really don't. But like I said, I don't think this takes place in 1992. I don't know why they have this on here. And then it says it debuted in 2018. And the show, it seems like it's in modern times, not the 90s, because they have like modern cell phones and stuff. If it was the 90s, they wouldn't have cell phones or much of anything. And all the cars, it's in modern time. Like, I'm beginning to think like this is an error or something, because it doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem like it's in the 90s, especially how much they keep bringing up Trump on there. Anyways, that's that. I liked the movie better personally. Like, there's just too much factions and stuff on here, and the fighting was decent, but you just had too much going on, and then you had all these subplots that go nowhere. Anyways, I guess that's it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.
I like to get paid, that's why I work every day. I'll be making money till I'm in my grave. Don't care what they say, I'll buy time with my money. Laughing to the bank cause it's funny. The money keep coming, I manifest it. Sing these lyrics and you'll get it. I'm the bank, come invest it. I get tracked and I have it. Money finds me attractive. I'm the type to make commas, turn a profit. I'm the boss, Willy Wonka, but it ain't chocolate. Yeah, I'm just being honest, I work for this shit. I'm usually modest, but this beat lit, so I'm going off thoughtless.